So when the investor pulled out, I literally thought my life was over. I looked at him as like a huge figure of like validation because I've always suffered from just, am I worthy? Like, am I enough? And I'll never forget it. I called him and I was like, dude, I was crying like a little kid, man. My life's over, man. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. And he said, Cameron, I've been trying to teach you this principle for the past 6 months now. Now that it's actually happening in your life, you will see that everything always works out. And I was just like, screw you, man. Like, how can you say that right now? Like, I started all these companies, I shut them down, 4 million in debt. I don't know if I'm going to recover from this. Everything always works out. Watch. And so like, that's the best lesson I ever learned, is everything always works out.
Welcome and thank you for joining us for today's episode of Disruptors, where millionaires are made. Today we have Cameron Bawden with Hype Farm's 1% Club. And Cameron is another Phoenix local, and he's here to talk about how he sold multiple companies for over $100 million. Now, guys, you know I'm on a mission to create 100 millionaires. The information on the show alone is enough to help you become a millionaire in the next 5 to 7 years. If you'll take consistent action, you will become one. And guys, if you're already a millionaire today, please scan that QR code on the screen right now so that we can recognize you on the show. And if you're not there yet and you want a little bit of help, scan that same QR code and we'll see whether we can help you or not. And before we jump in, if you're here to learn how real entrepreneurs are building real empires, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because every week we're dropping lessons that can create your first or next million. And before we get into it, guys, our AI lead manager is now up and running. If you want to hear what it sounds like, text AI caller to the phone number 33777. AI caller 33777. Feature we're rolling out very soon are live transfers. So after they fill out a web form, it's calling the prospect and scheduling the call over to you. You ready?
Let's go.
All right. So super excited to have you here. We didn't really meet that long ago.
Right.
It's only a few days ago, but Jeff connected us, and I thought, man, like, everyone needs to hear.
I want to hear that story, how that happened, man. Like,
how I connected with Jeff?
Yeah, like, and then what Jeff said to get, like, it's just such a funny thing.
Well, I mean, so I show up to home services. Was it Freedom Home Service?
Yeah, Freedom Home Service event. Yeah.
Yes, right. So I show up there. I'm there with Bryant Apples. So if you guys watched the show a few weeks ago with Bryant Apples with Floor Daddy,
Okay.
he says, hey, I'm telling him, hey, I'm doing these AI services, sales training. I like to break into home services. He's like, well, I'm going to Tommy's event in Vegas. Why don't you go with me?
Yeah.
I'll get you in for VIP. I was like, okay, done. Right.
That's fun.
Right. Let me go ahead and cancel my other trip to Dallas, because we're supposed to be in Dallas for another event.
Oh, dang. Okay.
So I search my flights, go over there, and find out, like, couldn't get me VIP.
Can't even get you in because they sold out.
Well, he got me in, but I couldn't get in the VIP because the fire marshal was throwing his
Okay.
right?
That's so funny.
So I show up, I check in, and Jeff is sitting there, right? And he's like,
because he didn't have a ticket.
He didn't have a ticket. So I'm sitting there, I'm checking in, and it's like, you're Steve Trang. I was like, yes, I am, right?
Yeah.
And so he introduces himself. I was like, oh, yeah, like, that's cool, because he's also right up the street. He's in Mesa.
Yeah.
Right? As we're talking this and that, and he couldn't get in that first half a day.
Yeah.
Right? Eventually he got in, but then we were talking while I'm there, and he's like, hey, like, you know Cameron? Like, no, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who's Cameron? He's like,
Yeah.
he's the Green Mango guy. It's like, I know those trucks.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I know I talked to Green Mango when I used to go to, like, the Chandler Chamber of Commerce events.
Yeah.
Right? I'm showing up as a realtor, talking about, like, short sales. Right? It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember the Green Mango guy's like, yeah, I do pest control. I was like, okay, cool. And then after he tells me what he does in Green Mango, you know how this works. You see those trucks everywhere.
Right.
Right. So
especially if you're in Chandler, where our office is.
So after that, I was like, so I said, it's the Green Mango guy. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'd be happy to meet the guy.
So that's the first point of contact, day one.
Yeah.
With Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then on the third day, I'm kind of hanging out. Like, it's died down a little bit. Like, some of the people they're leaving after lunch. Like, I think that's just probably how they plan. Maybe they're East Coast, whatever.
Yeah.
So people are hanging out on the afternoon of the third day, and I see him, and I'm mingling, right, trying to find someone who'd be interested in AI and sales.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, like, Cameron's invited me, told me I can bring up anyone up if they want to, meet. I was like, okay, again, like,
Yeah.
I'll check them out. I'll see what this is.
So funny, man.
And then I show up, and the view from your room is ridiculous, right? So, like, because when you fly in to Vegas,
sick. Yeah.
right, you can see the Mandalay Bay. It was really cool to see from the other side what
Right.
you see from
The
Mandalay
airport,
Bay of the
yeah.
people flying in.
Right.
But anyway, this isn't about me. It's about you. So you sold multiple companies. And the reason why I think that's so important is because I want to put an endpoint here, like the punctuation from like, there are a lot of people here that listen to the show that are in the middle of the journey.
Yeah.
Building a company, maybe one day I can sell it. Some of the people are watching to like, maybe I can get into the business.
Yeah.
But we don't have a lot of people like, I've done the business, I've sold the business, and I'm doing it again.
Yeah.
Right? Which is a very fascinating concept. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it.
Yeah.
Right? So how did you get into your very first home service business?
Yeah. So to understand that, I went on a mission. I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Mm-hmm.
And when you turn 19, you go on a mission for your church for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And up until that point, like my whole life is planned out for me. Like, hey, you're going to go to high school, you're going to get your Eagle Scout, you're going to do this, you're going to go on your mission, you know, and then you go on your mission, then you come home.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first time in my life where it was like, I didn't have a plan.
Yeah.
My plan was to do real estate because that's what my dad did. Mm-hmm. My dad showed people large parcels of land by air in a helicopter. And for the last couple of years, like we were pretty broke up until like my sophomore year of high school. And then my dad started making a ton of money, had the helicopter, showing real investors. I was like, dude, that looks fun.
Yeah.
And so when I was 16, I went and got all my licenses, my single engine, my multi, my instrument, and my helicopter. Mm-hmm. And so the plan was when I got home from my mission, I'm going to do real estate like my dad. When I got home, it was 2009. And the market was trash. If you didn't have any money. If you had money, best time to get into it. But I didn't have any money.
Especially land.
Yes. So a lot of returned missionaries get recruited to go work, you know, do door to door. We're used to getting told no. Mm-hmm. And so I was no different. As soon as I got home, I was introduced to a couple of buddies, which now they're my best friends. Yeah. Of like, hey, we're working for this pest control company. Come and recruit with us. And you don't make any money. It was just like, hey, recruit. We're going to go. At this time, it was like October, November. Mm-hmm. The summer sales starts like May, June when people get out of school. Yeah. So for like 3 or 4 months, I was just like watching my buddy recruit. And what was cool, Jason, who owned Moxie Pest Control, just gave us a credit card and was like, here, go. I just need bodies. I like come May, just make sure people are here. So we were flying the plane around, like doing all these basketball tournaments, handing out T-shirts, like eating at all these nice steak restaurants, all this stuff. And I was just like, this is crazy.
And this is all covered by the company card.
This is all covered by company card, you know?
Wow.
And I was your worst nightmare because right before the summer, I'm like, this isn't for me. I wasn't looking for a summer sales job. I was looking for a career. Yeah. And although Jason Walton, who owns Moxie, was like, hey, there's, you know, if you do this, this, and this, I'll consider you as a partner to go open up a branch. Mm-hmm. Like there was a lot of like this, and that, right?
So career path. So if you went and knocked on doors for a summer,
it could, like, I would have to knock a couple summers and I'd have to be a top rep. And even then, like, he might like you, he might not. And then who knows what location you'd get sent to. And it's like, I love Arizona. My whole family's here. And it just wasn't the right path for me. And so I stopped. I told my buddy who got me into it, I'm like, hey, you go ahead. I'm going to stay here, figure things out. I started a mobile car washing business that summer. Mm-hmm. And quickly realized, like, dude, I do not want to wash cars in Arizona summertime, right? And my buddy came back that summer. So this was, you know, this is 2010, you know, probably around August, September. And he's like, I'm going to start a pest control company and I want you to do it. I'm like, no, man, I'm good. Like, no, thank you. And my buddy, who I ended up partnering with, is one of the greatest salesmen ever. Like, he's just like, dude, I'm a marketing and branding guy. I can tell you, like, he saw something in me that I hadn't even seen myself at the beginning. And this is why I love him, is that, like, he saw me as a systems and operations guy. Got it. And he's like, I'm not that. I need that. And he's like, you need me because you're not creative. You're not, you know, you don't understand, like, the touch and feel of things. And he's like, I'm going to start this pest control company. It's called Green Mango. And I'm like, dude, that name is so dumb. Like, what are you, you know, like Green Mango, like, what is this, you know? Anyways,
I got some questions about that brand, but we'll continue.
Anyways, he's a great salesman. And October 1st, 2010, we knocked our first door. Mm-hmm. And literally, like, he brought a truck to the table, I brought a truck to the table, and we started knocking, and that's it.
October 2010, 2 trucks.
Yep.
That's the beginning of the business.
Yep.
All right. So we decided the car washing things out.
Car washing things out. I sold that business for like $8,000 and bought my wife a wedding ring, like, which is so dumb, but like, that's what I did.
Got it. Okay. So you start knocking on doors. How was that?
So selling religion and selling pest control is completely different. And I realized that very quickly. And so what was cool is, like, Dusty, my business partner, was one of the greatest salesmen, like I said. Mm-hmm. I got to shadow him for 8 months, 12 months, and just watch how he would just control the conversation at the door. And I became, like, I was a shy, reserved person. Like, even after the mission, like, before the mission, like, no thing. I could not have a conversation with you. After the mission, it's like, yeah, he's doing all right. Mm-hmm. But then it's like, go try and talk a mom or a dad into buying a year contract on the door. Like, good luck, Mm-hmm. And so I just watched Dusty, and I was able to become one of the greatest salesmen in door to door. Like, I've knocked for 6 years straight. I've had multiple 10 days. Like, I figured it out, but it was just by being intentional and watching. And I didn't know the foreshadowing that would come to play in that sense. But it's like, I got to shadow one of the best salesmen in the world. I got to duplicate it. I got to replicate what, like, made me, and, me with like Dusty's twist, but my twist as well. And then just go kill it. And it was like a lot of fun to overcome that first objection in life of, like, hey, if we're going to make payroll, I have to sell at least 4 accounts a day on the doors, period. And that's what I did. You
say multiple 10 days. Does that mean like 10 days, 10 sale days?
Yeah. So, like, in the door-to-door world, it's probably not a big deal anymore. But, like, back in 2010, it was pretty unique to be able to sell 10 accounts in one day, let alone, like, do it. So we would go, like, we were technicians as well. Like, we wore every hat. We were the techs, we were the routing manager. So we would do all that until 4 o'clock, and then we go knock doors from 4 till 10 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. And so, like, my claim to fame was like 10 accounts in like 5 hours or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so my mentor, when I first got into business, was also LDS.
Okay.
So obviously his brother was. And yeah, all they did was they were all in Tempe, and they all meet in Tempe, and they all get in, like, trucks and vans and drive to Sun City, right? Sun City West.
Yep.
And they would just sell cable and internet all day.
Yeah.
And security all day, every day. And that's all they did.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the business. Like, that's it. You just get in cars, trucks, you just knock on doors.
Yeah.
So that's what you guys did.
I mean, that's what we did with the salesman. Unfortunately, if you're the owner, you have to do a lot more than that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we bought a short bus, spray painted it flat black. We'd haul all of our salesmen out to areas in a short bus.
Yeah. So now that you moved on from the company, I'm just curious. Green Mango.
Yeah.
What was the idea behind that?
So my business partner, Dusty, who came up with the name, he also served a mission in Brazil. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I love Dusty. Sometimes he's a little dramatic. He's like, look, man, when I was on my mission, I lived off of mangoes. It's my way of life. Mm-hmm. It's like how I survived. I didn't eat anything else, He's like, our company, Green Mango, like, it's going to be how we live off. Like, that's what we're going to live off of in life. And so, like, that's where the mango came from. The green in 2010, like, the industry was the nasty Burns Orkin guy showing up in, like, a molester van with, like, an oil stain in your driveway, like, nasty beard, Carhartt shirt, like, just, like, overweight. Like, it was a grungy industry, right? And like, this is when, like, natural organic products were starting to become popular.
Yes. And
so we're like, dude, we're going to name it Green to give that, like, fresh, nice feel. Like, we're going to change the industry. And what's cool is, like, we didn't know it at the time. Like, that was a cool idea. Mm-hmm. But now when you look at most service companies in Arizona, like, they've tried to duplicate what we've done with our multiple service companies. That is, like, bring a nice, fresh look to the industry. Like, no longer is it okay to show up in, like, a stock nasty truck with, like, an overweight technician. Mm-hmm. You got to be wearing Nike. You got to be wearing, slim fit pants, dry fit gloves, like the whole 9 yards, custom wheels on the work trucks, like, things like that. Yeah. That's what we changed. And so our brand, like, a lot of credit to my business partner, like, people love the clean look of Green Mango, and the name stuck. Like people loved it.
Now that you mention it, that makes total sense. It has been a while since I've seen a molester van.
It is a while. Hey, maybe we'll bring it back now.
Okay, so now Green Mango, that was the first one you started.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was that like? I mean, was it like a hit right out of the gate? Was there like, what the heck are we doing?
No, man, we made so many mistakes. Like I laugh because now we're doing consulting and we'll get into that. But like we didn't spend the money on a CRM, a customer management software, right? Like we ran our billing off of a spreadsheet and I didn't know how to do spreadsheets. And so like we didn't bill our customers for multiple months at a time. Like every horror story you could imagine, didn't go to college, never worked for another person in my whole life. Like there's like the deck was stacked against me. And so I had to pay for all my lessons. And that's what happened. Like you name it, I guarantee I've been through it in business. And so like the first 6 years, and I'm not proud of this, like I didn't make any money at Green Mango, didn't take a dime. And part of that was because we were investing a lot back into the business, but a lot of that because there was no money there. Like I remember about 4 or 5 years in, so the second year my dad invested into the company $75,000 originally. Mm-hmm. And we wanted to run a door team. And so we went to him and said, hey, we need to front commissions for a door-to-door team. Can you loan us $75,000? Well, that 75 turned into over $220,000 because, again, we didn't know what we were doing. And we put on more accounts than we originally anticipated, which is a good thing, right? But those first, like by year 2015, so 5 years in, I remember being in Maricopa. It's 115 degrees outside. I'm spraying out of this piece of crap Kia Soul and it's hot. I'm allergic to the chemicals like that we use because when you're spraying it, once they form, it's micro encapsulated, but when you're spraying it, like you can smell everything. And like I'm highly allergic. So like my eyes are red, all the things, right? I'm on a 3-way call with my dad and my business partner, Dusty. And we're like, hey, Dad, I'm so sorry that this didn't work. Like if someone will give us $220,000 to pay you back, like we're going to sell the business and we're going to get rid of this. Mm-hmm. And luckily no one would pay us $220,000 for the company. Yeah. And so I didn't want to let my dad down. We had no option but to continue on with just showing up every single day. And that's all we knew how to do. And luckily we just kept showing up and we kept getting better and better. And 2016, 2017, we transitioned from the doors to traditional marketing, and that's when we exploded.
So all this time, first, you hadn't started a second company yet.
No.
Or I guess technically this is your second. You haven't started a third company yet.
Yeah.
You never went to college.
No.
So you're not even a college dropout. You just didn't even go.
No.
Which is probably better than college dropout. I don't know. So you legit were learning every lesson through the hard knocks.
Yeah.
Was there like a group? Were there communities? Is there anything like no one else? Like, was there anyone else you're comparing notes with, like in pest control, alarm cells?
I mean, maybe there was, but I was either too dumb to pay attention or what. Like, I feel like people, and this is why it's so cool. Like now with what people are doing and what we're doing is like we share everything. That wasn't like I feel like Tommy Mello was the first person that came out and was like, here's my bag of tricks, like go. And that's why I love Tommy so much. And that only happened within the last 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. Before that, like no one wanted to share their tips and tricks because they felt like, oh, if I share this, then they'll take market share. Mm-hmm. And so like everything was really tight knit. Like you could, even if I wanted to get into that group, like no one's sharing with me how they're really doing.
So 5 years in, it's like, this is awful.
Yeah, don't know how do you make money.
Yeah. What were some other, like, what would you say were the top 2 or 3 moments where you're like, I can't believe like we did this?
Like once we actually did it?
No, before then. Like before we figured things out. Like, because 5 years of suffering. Like,
yeah, dude.
You didn't pay yourself for 5 years. Like, or some other things you're like, I can't believe we did this. Like if we didn't do this, we'd be in a better spot. Or
I mean, the CRM was like number one when we figured out like, dude, if we're going to make money at this business, like we got to bill our customers. Like, how dumb are we? You know, like we're trying to track our customers on a spreadsheet. Mm-hmm. So like, that was like the first one, like, what are we doing? And then we were so attached to having this premium, amazing brand that like there's multiple times and pictures that I have of me in my mom's garage with heaters where we're wrapping our own trucks. Like we're taking the door handles off and we're wrapping them flat black because we care about that. And like those are just all the times where we're like what business owner spends time to wrap their own trucks? Like imagine if we were knocking doors at that period or training a CSR of how to answer the calls or like do the billing of the business and all those little things. So
yeah, got it. Okay, so thankfully no one bought the company.
Yep.
Did you guys even try listing it?
I don't remember exactly like what we did, but like, yeah, we were trying to like, who wants this? Like, please, like, I don't know what we did, but yeah, we definitely were trying to get rid of it.
Okay. But then at some point you have an epiphany. Hey, what if we try marketing instead of door knocking?
So our first break into traditional marketing, we were friends with Nathan, who owns the Zero Res carpet cleaning here. And we were talking to him like, hey, we need to figure out, because Dusty and I were wearing every single hat. Like we were the salesman at night. We were the billing manager in the morning. We were the customer service rep. We were the router. We were everything. But we like
it was still just two of you at that point.
Like we had a couple technicians and maybe one girl by 2015, like 14, 15 with door-to-door summer salesmen. And those of you that know summer sales, like they're just a bunch of children. Like we really are a bunch of children that need babysitted, like need to be babysat.
Yeah.
And so we were having horrible turnover rate with our salesmen because Dusty and I weren't fulfilling their needs that they needed to come back.
Yeah.
Because we're not that great at it anyways, but two, like we were just wearing 10 hats. Like we couldn't. Normal companies have a designated recruiter, sales manager, sales trainer, like, fulfillment culture guy. And so we're like, dude, we can't keep up with this. And by the way, paying $500 for a customer that pays us $600 on the year and not making any money the first year, let alone 2 years on this customer, like something has to change. Our acquisition cost was through the roof.
Yeah.
So with all that going on, like we were talking to Nathan, who owned this marketing company. I think it was Path Tap is the company name. They're not in business anymore. We're like, hey bro, like we need help. Like we need to crack this code. One night he called us and said, hey, John Jay from 104.7, John Jay and Rich show. He has ants at his house. You guys need to get out there tonight. His bug man told him he can't come out for 2 days. He's like, I promise you, John Jay and Rich was a game changer for us at Zero Res. You need to get out there right now. Dusty is like the closest one, runs out there, hits it off with John Jay at his house, right? Like the next morning, John Jay goes on, and this is the spot that you can't pay for. This is when they're just on the radio riffing about what happened. You can't buy this. Like they're just talking as the show, right? John Jay's like, dude, this bug guy came out, his name's Dusty Green Mango, great Mormon guy, does this thing and talks about us for like 10 minutes. Our phone blew up. Like 20, I say blow up. Like it was a big deal for us. 20 accounts in one day. Yeah. For us, doing 20 accounts in one night and one day with the door team was a big deal. We averaged 10 to 15 with like 12 guys. So to do 20, and here's the thing, dude, people are calling us saying, we want to sign up. Like we're not having to overcome objections with like other companies. I got to talk to my spouse, like, all these things, like the easiest lay down sales you could imagine. And Dusty and I were just sitting there.
These are order taking.
Thank you. Careful salesman, in-house salesman. I'm just kidding. We're like, dude, we got to figure this out. We didn't have any money. The radio contract's $250,000. Okay.
Wow.
And we're like, we have to do it. And so I'll never forget sitting down doing our dumb math with a calculator. We're like, hey, if we close 7 accounts a day, we should be good. Like, let's go sign the contract. And we did it, man. Like,
so with 104.7.
Yeah.
So John Jay gives you guys sings your praises, 20 accounts, and with that was enough to go sign a $250,000 contract.
That was enough evidence that like, hey, something here could happen.
Yeah. 20
accounts wasn't enough to pay for it by any means.
No, of course not.
But it was like, I think something's here.
Yeah.
And so again, like for 2 years, like
I love it. It's a bit of a gamble, but I love it.
It's a huge like looking back, I'm like, man, gosh, this is crazy. But so then it was like I put on the salesman hat and I closed, 30 to 40 accounts a day. Okay. And I look back and I want to puke because I probably wasted so many leads because I literally couldn't keep up with how many leads were coming in. Like I didn't hire the CRM. I didn't have all the tools out there now, all the AI stuff that could have been like, create funnels for customers I didn't answer. And it was just like, it was crazy for we were doing 10,000 accounts a year. It was insane. And when I say a year, like most of that coming from like May, when the crazy thing about pest control in Arizona, as soon as it hits 100 degrees, like it's on. So depending on the weather, but usually mid-May, sometimes June till like October, like it's game on. And we'd throw on like 10,000 accounts this summer.
Wow. So it was a bit of a gamble.
Mm-hmm.
When did you know, like day one, like this is going to pay off?
I don't know, man. No, I don't. I mean, I'm sure there's like, it was so long ago now, it was like over 10 years ago. I mean, we kept the contract. So like within the first month, I mean, we could have canceled it if we wanted to, but we obviously kept it going. So it was doing something.
Where did you come up with the 250?
We did the dummy math. Like, hey, if we close this many every single day, we're good to go. And it worked.
Right. But like,
it wasn't upfront. No, it was every month.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then
like 20 grand a month.
Did they come up with 20K? Because I mean, you guys were poor, right? At this point.
Yeah.
You go back to dad or
no? Yeah, no. We were figuring out just enough there to where it's like, yeah, like if we do, I think it was 7 accounts a day. If we do 7 accounts a day at our current profit margins, we'll have this much money to pay the 20 grand each month.
Oh, so it was like it was doing 30.
Yeah.
So you're like, all right, we got to hustle.
Oh yeah. Oh, our backs were against the wall.
Okay. Well, that's great. So then obviously that worked. So then after that, you finally got a CRM. Is that what you said?
Probably not till like 2 years later. I'll never forget. Like we were in the car and I was taking the calls. I was with Dusty and like I didn't close an account and he like ripped me a new one because I'm like, sorry man, like I tried my best. Like come to find out, like a 80% is a really good close rate.
Oh yeah. Okay, so what were the big next steps after that? Because like, all right, so you're crushing it. 10,000 accounts and so on, whatever per month. You said 8 to 10
a year. Yeah.
Okay, so you're doing well there. What were the other lessons along the way?
That's when I finally started to. I had to figure out how to delegate. I had to figure out how to create managers. I had to figure out how to delegate to other people. Mm-hmm. And so that's when the service managers came. That's when salesmen. I ran the sales for a long time. I didn't take that hat off for a while, but like the routers, the billing specialist, all that. Like we had to quickly get that infrastructure in place. And that's when I started making money for the first time. That's what's so funny is like as soon as I started delegating and giving people acknowledgement and giving them that freedom and credibility to go, like that's when we started making money, which is the biggest problem for entrepreneurs, as you know.
Yeah. So then did you have at that point hire consultants to like figure this stuff out?
No, we're still just doing it. Yeah, we're still just doing it.
We're just making up roles.
Yep.
Like you just do this.
Yeah.
You go do that. That's kind of how that went.
Yep.
Okay. How was hiring? Like, because that's like one of the hardest things for people to do. If you're a real estate investor with a sales team and you're stuck babysitting reps instead of growing your business, this is for you. Right now, your reps are burning through your expensive leads like they're practice dummies. They're making costly mistakes you won't catch for weeks, and 70% of your potential revenue is walking to competitors because of inconsistent follow-up. That's why over 130 operators are now using objectionproof.ai to automatically review every single call within minutes, train reps with AI roleplay sessions, and never miss another follow-up. Stop watching your competitors pull ahead while you're trapped doing manager work. Click the link in the description and book a call with my team to see how we can help you install a self-managing sales team this week.
Yeah, what I found with hiring is once you get to a certain size, like over 20 techs, it's easy to be like, hey guys, like tell your friends that we're hiring, like come on. But under that, like it's almost impossible. Indeed, as we got bigger, was a game changer for us. And so the hiring is always a challenge with employees, and we can go deep down into that. How I feel like I don't want to say mastered it, but how we got really good at it.
Let's talk about your biggest blunders, and then we'll talk about how we fixed it.
Yeah.
So hiring, what were your biggest mistakes?
Well, forever we looked at pest control as like an entry level position rather than a career. And so naturally we would go after 16, 17-year-olds. Well, 16, 17-year-olds don't have any responsibilities in life besides maybe a cell phone bill. Mm-hmm. And so who do you think's calling out most of the time? Those 16 or 17-year-olds. Who do you think's texting and driving? Who do you think's, no showing routes? Like all the things, right? Mm-hmm. And so Well, I didn't learn that hard lesson until probably like 3 or 4 years, probably like 2017, which would have been 7 years in. Our insurance carrier came to us and said, we are not auto renewing you. We're getting in like 2 accidents a month right now because of just boneheads texting and driving, young guys. They said, look, the only way we will auto renew you is if you only hire people with 5 years of driving experience. And I thought our life was over because no one was over 21 as a technician driving. Man. But it was the best thing in the whole world because we had to change our pay to attract a little bit more. We had to, change our culture. We had to do a bunch of changes to now attract 21-year-olds plus. And now guess what? Like our attrition went down for employees. Our tenure for customers went up and like the accidents went down, all the little things. And so like that was our first big mistake, is hiring the wrong person.
2 accidents a month. So like
it was.
So I have my brokerage, right? I had my brokerage.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that just happens having a brokerage, because I had over 100 realtors, like every other year, someone's getting sued for like wage garnishment.
Yeah.
That's just kind of what it is, right? And then like the first couple of times, like this is really stressful. And after I was like, I guess this is just the cost of being a broker.
Yeah.
And it kind of sounds like that was your experience.
Exactly.
Like just 2 accidents a month. It's like every other week we just got in car accidents.
Yeah, I had a system put in place so perfectly, so when an accident happened, I didn't even hear about it. But it was like, yeah, I guess this is what happens when you have 100 trucks on the road.
To have an SOP for car accidents.
Yep, which you should have anyways. But like, yeah, it got bad, man.
Okay, so that was a big change. What were some other big changes in your big mistakes that you learned from?
During that first like couple years.
Yeah.
Some big mistakes, man. We were I think the biggest mistake was that, but also the systems and the policies not put into place. That's what I learned the most. We were always crazy about our service. We were a little bit too crazy about our quality, like to a point where we would just fire a technician immediately if he made like one mistake rather than like trying to train them. Mm-hmm. I think that's like where we missed the boat a lot. Yeah. Is that like, hey, if we actually have a decent training program, like one, these guys will actually have a better success rate, but two, like I'm not jumping back on the truck again. I'd fire someone because I was so frustrated with them. Well, guess what? That route needs to be taken care of. And so who's jumping on that truck? I would. And so that's why I was on the truck for over 6 years at Green Mango. Finally, it was like, hey, if you make a mistake, I'm going to find your replacement before I tell you I'm firing you. And like, it sounds so basic, but like those little things save you as a business owner than having to jump back in.
Got it. So then you said now you're really good at hiring. So what do you do in your hiring process that, you feel like separates you guys?
Yeah. So I love when I came into this podcast, you guys have my name on the front. Mm-hmm. So like it starts with the ad, right? Mm-hmm. And so like, what are you putting on your ad? What is the actual copy of it? Like you need to be very intentional with that. So that's number one. The touch point after that. So once they hit submit on Indeed or wherever you're getting your applications from, you have to put yourself in that person's shoes. They're probably applying to 10 other companies.
Right.
So one of the things that I love that way we did is we filmed a hype video that got them excited about the company. I would get on there. It's a short 30 to 60 second video. And it would be like, here's what we're about. Showing the truck, showing the culture, talking about the pay, talking about the office, talking about our swag. Like, here's who we are. Get excited. And then so that would be like the first touch point. So like, I'll never forget, like explaining it to my HR manager. Like, imagine you're this technician that needs a job. You just submitted your resume to 10 companies. Because this is the problem, is like we would have 10 people say like they're going to show up tomorrow and only 2 would show up. Mm-hmm. Well, why is that? Because someone else like was more attractive to them and that's where they went. So if I'm sitting at my desk at home, I submit my resume and I get this sick hype video and I get a contact within a couple minutes, just like a lead, like a sales lead happens, like our chances of that person showing up go up automatically. So that's how we improved our show rate for the person actually saying, hey, I'm coming in for the interview. Mm-hmm. Then when they come in, how do they feel? I'll never forget when we first went into iHeart's radio station, when we signed with 104.7, as soon as we came off the elevator, 2 huge 65-inch screens, welcome Green Mango, Cameron, and Dusty Williams. And it was like, dude, like simple. I felt so cool. I felt so good when I walked in today. It's like, dude, it's sick. I took up, it's like, welcome,
Yeah.
and like making it personal for them, and then having the right person give them the tour. If you have a boring HR manager that's like old and nasty and whatever, like, hey, welcome to Green Mango. Like, can't wait to have you. Like, how's that? Like, who wants to work there?
Yeah.
I would train my office people. When we walk through the office with someone that you don't know, I want you to get up if you're not on the phone, shake their hand, welcome them, make a little small talk with them. Like I always tell people, like, Matt, we all know what it's like to be in elementary school, going to the cafeteria, you have your tray in your hand and like you're looking for your buddy's, lunch table. It's embarrassing, it's uncomfortable, it's all the things. That's how people feel their first day of work, the first day when they come into an interview. Yeah. And then give them a little bit of swag, make it so they remember us, like set the tone right now of who we are. And so a combination of like all those little things made it so that like we set the tone right away. People showed up for it. Not everyone, but like, again, there's no perfect recipe, but like it increased our odds of hiring the right person, hiring that, having that person show up for the interview and then actually bringing them on board.
And it makes you more desirable. It's like, I hope I get that job.
Yeah.
Right? I hope they call me back versus like the other ones, like, well, they call me. Like, great.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. So, and then you continue Green Mango, right? So like you figured out the radio, you got a business, you got people working there now. How much longer was it until you actually sold Green Mango and a few other companies?
So I just exited Green Mango in 2024, started in 2010. So it was 14 years total. 14 years. 2018, and this is what's so funny, it's like 2015, 2016 started making money, made good money, 2016 to 2018, and thought I figured it all out. I'm the smart guy, It's like, let's start some more. Everyone's asking us, hey, why don't you guys do pool service? Why don't you guys do alarms? Why don't you do solar? Why don't you do windshields, the carpet cleaning? And so we're like, so we started 5 companies in 18 months. And it was like, it was crazy, man.
5 companies. Okay. So maybe a little distracted.
A lot of distracted.
And we all struggle with this, right? As entrepreneurs. So like people that are watching, the show right now, like a lot of them are going to be real estate focused, a lot of them. But we all kind of have our eyes over here, over there.
The grass is always greener.
Right. I mean, I'll tell you, like hanging out with Bryant when I was in Vegas, I was suffering. I don't know what you call it. It's not quite shiny object syndrome. It's not quite grass is greener. I'm looking in this room. I was like, what if I was just doing home services for the last 20 years? It's like real estate. Where would I be?
Yeah.
Right. But then I also know, like, I hate working with my hands. So like, I never would have gotten into it. But there's this element of like, hey, what's going on over here? What if I tried this?
Yeah.
Right. So you did it. 5 companies, 18 months. How was that experience?
I always tell people it was the worst idea I've ever made in my life, but also the best thing I ever did, because not all those companies were what I deem as like super successful. And the beautiful thing about service-based companies is there's always an exit. So even though I didn't go sell like our solar company for tens of millions of dollars, I didn't lose money on that. And that's what's beautiful about service. And so, with starting that many companies in a short time frame, like I was back to working those 18-hour days. I was back to being stressed out, like all the things, right? And but like I learned a ton through it, and it's made me like who I am today, which I'll never take back. Yeah. But it wasted a lot. Like I put a lot of time into those companies.
So what were those 5 companies?
So we started with security. So Black Hat Security.
Love that name, by the way.
You would, because you're AI. I didn't know what Black Hat meant when I named it that.
Oh,
but then when I started to search, I'm like, oh, bro, I don't want to mess with these guys, dude. This is crazy.
Yeah, Black Hat is that's the wrong way to do things. So but Black Hat Security tells you you're gonna protect yourself from the bad guys.
It always works out, man. That's one thing I learned. So Black Hat Security, Pineapple Pools.
Pineapple Pools.
Yep.
Okay.
Agave, which is a windshield company.
Okay.
Coconut Carpet Cleaning. And then we had Phoenix Power, which is solar.
So a lot of fruit.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was Phoenix?
Phoenix Power.
Phoenix Power.
Which, come on, dude, that's a sick name.
No.
Who would have thought that name was available in Phoenix?
Yeah, that was great. It's great. Okay, so those 5. So starting with Black Hat, that was the first one.
Yeah.
How was that launching that business?
So when entrepreneurs come to me now and they're like, hey, I want to start this other company, I try and get down to the root of why.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're being honest, it's because they're not making enough money in their first business. No one else wants to go start another company just because it's fun.
Right.
That, in my opinion. And so I was lying to myself. Between 2016 and 2018, we got smart. I told you we started hiring all these managers. We went from working 18-hour days to like 6-hour days or 8-hour days. And we're like, dude, I'm bored. Like, what is this, you know? And so when we started all those companies, I was back to working those 18-hour days. But it all started because I'm like, I was only making, I think I was making like 400 grand a year or something. I'm like, I want to make $1 million, dude. Like, I want to make that. Well, if I just go start these other companies, and our goal was, hey, if we can just make $250,000 per company, like I'll get over my $1 million. So that was like the thought process.
Trying to get to $1 million net at the end of the year.
Yes. And because like everyone's already asking, if you have a good, which we did, our name was phenomenal in Green Mango, right? People love the service. Hey, why we would get it all the time. Why don't you guys do this? Why don't you do that? And so we're like, you know, like we're like a drug addict. Like, man, this might not be a bad idea, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. And so naturally when we launched these companies, it was so easy to scale because like we had this track record and we named them these fruit companies that were like close to Green Mango and the branding was the same and similar. And like people would just associate it with Green Mango. And it's like, hey, we came to know this quality of service at Green Mango. I'm sure it's going to be the same at Black Hat or Pineapple or Agave or whatever. And so like growth was never an issue with any of the other companies.
Oh, so it was able to ride the success.
It was so easy to scale those like pools. We became the second largest pool company in Arizona like that. Like it was so easy.
Okay.
Servicing pools, oh my gosh, like it was a nightmare.
What's the nightmare of servicing pools?
Well, you just break down the profit margins of it, man. Like, so at the time, like even today, I was talking to a pool company, like the average rate for a monthly service is $150. You have to go out once a month. When we were doing it, it was $100. So if you think about it, we're making $25 a week servicing that pool. You got to be out there for at least 15 minutes. A decent tech's making $18 an hour. You're $5 in chemical, right? Let alone like gas, insurance, all your cogs. So on $25, like you might make a couple bucks a week, but $2 times 4, you know, it's like you might make $10 account a month. You can't scale a company doing that.
Yeah.
Even at $150, making $15 a week on an account, you can't do it.
Right.
That's why the pool service is saturated. Everyone's attracted because it's so easy to get pool accounts, but it's ruined because we call them one pullers. You don't need this is the craziest thing, dude, that you don't need a license to carry the chemical in your pool, like you're in your truck. You mix 2 chemicals together, like we've had multiple explosions in our office. Like,
really?
It's dangerous. But at pesticide, you know, like where some people can drink these products and not get hurt, like you have to have all these licenses and it's regulated. So the barrier to entry in pools is very minimal.
Right.
Which means any high schooler, any Joe Schmo can go get a piece of crap truck, put a couple chemicals in the back. And for a guy that doesn't have overhead, that's making $150 a month on a pool, and he is the tech, a one puller, that's great, man. He does 18 stops a day, you know, goes and makes a couple $100. Like he's happy. He's making $100 grand a year. That's cool. But as soon as you try and scale it, it's not possible.
Not scalable.
So that's the problem with pools.
Okay. Got it.
There is money in repairs, but you have to do the service to do the repairs, and even then, it's not worth it.
Got it. Okay.
So start a pool company.
So that pool. Okay. What was the first one you started?
Black Hat Security.
Black Hat. Okay. So same deal. Like, I guess explain what is security, because like parts of me is like warehouse security guys like walking around.
Oh, no. So this is like Vivint. So like home security automation. Automation was becoming really popular back in 2000. I mean, it still is today. Like, hey, you can control your lights. You can have a doorbell cameras came out in 2018, you know, Ring and Skybell. And so I was like, hey, I for whatever reason, like Todd Peterson, owner of Vivint, was like that guy to me. It was like, I want to do home security. Like he killed it, you know, and I love automation and how hard is this? Like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And so, I'm just deciding if I want to go down that. So we can go. So we went to this investor because with security, you have to, the equipment's expensive. I don't remember the exact amount, but I think a panel is a couple hundred. You're like $500 up front in like a system, which is like a panel on the wall. I think it's usually like 3 door sensors and a motion. It's like $500 up front.
Yeah.
You have to pay out of pocket before you make. But what's cool after that is you have your $39.99 a month or $49.99 a month monitoring fee, and like you build that without sending out a tech, and that's beautiful, right? So like
a lot better than pool.
So downside, $500 up front, positive. Every month after that, you're pretty much netting, you know, whatever your monitoring fee is minus you pay a call center to monitor like the 24/7 alarms when they do go off to dispatch the police.
Yeah.
I didn't have enough. Like you do that. If you want to put on 2,000 accounts a year or 5,000 accounts a year, you times that by $500. It's like, I don't have that much money to cash flow this. I went to an investor, and this investor was like, hey, not only do I want to be it started with that. Let's do this. And we went out and killed it. I think we sold like 3,000 accounts the first year, something crazy.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, now we want to start coconut and agave and this and that. And he's like, all right, let's go. I want market dominance in every single industry. The budget's $2 million in marketing. No, let's see. The budget's $20,000 a month, $250,000 per company in marketing spend. And so that's where we got all of our financing to go blow up 5 service companies.
Right.
And so we were spending $250 grand a year in every single service company. And that's like, it just went crazy.
Right.
Well, 8 months in, this investor sat down at a conference room table one day and said, hey, I'm out. And it was just like, I thought my life was over, because the same validation that I got from him when he was like, hey, I love what you did at Green Mango. I'm backing you. Let's go have market dominance in all these companies. Like, you're my guy, like top of the world, right? Yeah. 8 months later, come in like, hey, you're a piece of crap. Get out of here. I want nothing to do with you. Like, now I'm like all the insecurities, all the things. There's a lot. I don't think he didn't have confidence in us. I think he looked at us as reckless. I think he didn't. He said he wanted to be involved in the companies a lot. He goes out of town for the summers and comes back, and so he was gone throughout the whole summer. I think he saw all the money that we were spending, and to our credit, I don't think that we were being reckless with it. Like, it was intentional with all of our growth and all the things. But he came back, and I think it definitely wasn't too much for him, because he's worth probably more than $1 billion. It was just like, I'm out. Like, too much stress. I don't know what it was, honestly.
Agree with the direction. Yeah.
Yeah. Pulled the plug. And with our arrangement that we had is like anything over $250,000 that he invested, we were splitting it 3 ways. And so Dusty and I had to make a decision like, hey, do we keep running with all these companies that are in like their growth stages, or do we just shut them down to us as us selling them? And so again, the beautiful thing about service companies, you can sell them at any point and get your money back pretty much, as long as like you were in healthy margins, which we were. And so that next year of my life was choosing the winners and the losers of, hey, what do I want to keep? And at the time I decided to keep the agave and coconut. And for a minute we kept the pool company, but got smart and sold that off. And so up until like 2 years ago, I sold agave, and now I've sold everything except for coconut.
So Black Hat, you kept or sold? You sold.
I sold it.
That was a winner or a loser?
I guess like winners is like, I didn't lose money on any of them. But we still sold them and got back. But like,
but the moment when you were going through this, like, hey, we need to start selling,
I didn't have the money to keep funding Black Hat. I couldn't, even if I wanted to.
Got it.
So I had to like,
because that one, it sounds like just the number.
Dude, that one was so sick. I love that one. And he actually wanted to stay a partner in that business. And because I was a little bitter that he backed out of everything else, I was like, no, man, we're not partners on this either.
Yeah. Okay. So you sold immediately Black Hat, Phoenix Power, and then Pool shortly thereafter.
Not in that direction, but yeah.
Okay. So, why?
You're like, where do I go with this?
Well, no. I'm asking these questions because I think, again, like for someone that's listening, because I have no idea. I had no idea how many people were in home services, right? So like,
Yeah.
there's gonna be someone listening to this that this will benefit them to kind of like go through this thought analysis, like which one do I want to start, stop, keep, and so on. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, I got a friend of mine, Xavier, and I was talking to him. I was like, "How's your business going?" Because like,
What service is he in?
well, he does a lot of marketing.
Okay.
Right. So a lot of information marketing. He's always done well with that, right? Like, we played all the basketball together, so I consider myself an honorary Mormon, right? Because I played at a Constellation Way church.
There we go.
Until I ruptured my Achilles a few months ago.
Dang.
Yeah. So, but I was talking to him, and I was asking how he was doing, because this is not a great time right now in the education space.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, I was just at this event. Like, why don't you do one of these things? And he's talking about like, I want to do it, but I don't know, like, I don't know which one to go with. And he suffers from analysis paralysis, right? And so the problem is
like the exact opposite. I need to slow down.
Yeah. So the problem is like he's really smart, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're really, really smart. You overthink things.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of talking through. And so I'm curious, like the fact that there's very little margin to pull is something I never would have known, never would have considered, right? Security makes total sense to me because I paid for a security system.
Yeah.
And I don't talk to them except for like every once in a while I get a phone call from them that's like, hey, like we tested, we're not connected.
Cool.
Like I get that like every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
But beyond that, like I still pay the $50 or whatever.
Yeah.
So Phoenix Power, you didn't hold on to. Why did you not hold on to Phoenix Power?
I didn't like being dictated by the tax credits and the incentives that the government like decided for me.
Yeah.
And the fulfillment. So in solar, a lot of people made a lot of money being a sales company, and some people made good money being the installers. Very rarely were you a sales and an installer. Mm-hmm. And so we were just a sales company. So we'd go out and kill it in sales. Again, like sales were never an issue for us. Yeah. But the fulfillment of it was a nightmare. And that was really like what was frustrating the most about Phoenix Power is just that. And so again, it was just like, hey, we're distracted on this. We can't figure out the fulfillment. We don't want to go figure out the fulfillment because we don't want to go down those. At this time, like I was finally starting to get a little bit smarter of like, you know, like there's lessons to be learned here on this side of the business. I don't want to go down that. It's not worth it. But let's you know, separate from here.
Got it. Yeah, because I got a friend. He was absolutely loving life until the interest rate hike.
Oh yeah, I mean, solar's not gonna. I mean, unless they do something else. Like I got so many buddies in solar that were making millions of dollars a year that are now like asking me for help and where they should go next because it's just it's not there.
Right.
And so imagine building this huge empire in business and have all this overhead, you know, leases on buildings and trucks and all this stuff. And then someone just shows up one day and is like, hey, like, you're not going to get paid as much as you want, which is essentially what happened with Agave, because I know you're going to ask that next.
Oh, I didn't know about that. So what?
So Agave, I ended up getting out of because, again, the insurance companies dictate how much we can charge for a windshield.
I see.
Safelite owns the market. And so it's frustrating. It'd be like, hey, like, you know, I can't dictate how much your pest control is. I'm being told how much I can charge. And so it's like, hey, you can only charge $50. And I'm going to them and saying, it's literally 85 to service this home. Like the margin between 85 and 115 is like where I make my money. It truly does cost this much money. That's what happens in windshields is they say, hey, if you do a Chevy Silverado, you can only charge this much for the glue. You can only charge this much for the windshield. And you have $18 to pay a technician or what, you know, whatever. Those aren't the real numbers, but it's like, where are we going to find a tech for $18? That doesn't exist.
Yeah. And
so again, you know, I'm owed like $800,000 in Florida from insurance companies that are just playing, you know, like ARs over 2 years that just don't care and trying to fight me on what they should pay out and what they can pay out.
Windshields?
On windshields.
$800K? Wow. So I didn't know that because like one of the things it seems like on the outside looking in, roofing is great because the insurance company covers it.
Yeah.
So the homeowner doesn't really care what it costs to fix it because it's not their money.
Yeah.
So in that regards, I saw insurance is great, but insurance also dictates how much you get to make.
Yeah. If you talk to any restoration guy or roofer, their biggest nightmare is fighting with the insurance company.
Got it.
to try and collect that money. So yeah, easy sell, nightmare to collect.
Right. So,
And most of them settle for a lower amount.
wow. See, I had no idea, right? Again, I'm looking around at this event. I was like, man, everyone here is just rich as hell. And then, it's like anything else you see on social media.
Right.
It's like, here's like numbers that are stated,
Right.
but like, what actually do you get to keep?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So agave didn't work out. Didn't work out the way you wanted it to, but you kept coconut.
Yeah.
Why'd you keep coconut?
All the things I say that I don't like about like Phoenix Power and agave is like I can dictate my pricing at coconut. I can dictate our marketing. I can dictate everything that I want. I can dictate the entire experience.
It's really the autonomy.
Yeah.
Independence.
Yeah. It's the same thing with pest control. I love pest control because when I need to raise my rates because of inflation, $5, like I don't need to go, like I just send out a letter and I just change it.
You don't need to get approval from anybody.
Right.
Which is probably the reason why you never worked for anybody.
Yeah.
Might be a theme there.
Yeah, I guarantee there is.
Yeah. So then let's talk about like the commonalities, right? Because you were saying you didn't sell any of these companies for a loss, right? So if nothing else, you got your money back. What are the things you did? Because we talked about the victories, the lessons you learned at Green Mango, but what are the things you did to make all the other companies as successful as they could be?
What did I do with all the other companies?
In common, like what were you doing? Because like, were you using like one employee that was sitting in all the companies?
Oh yeah,
each
yeah,
company, their own entity, like each HR, each one has a sales manager. Like, how did you structure all this?
So we had so everything sat underneath the umbrella of Hype Farm, which was our parent company that owned everything, and then we would have shared resources like HR, marketing, like fleet managers, stuff like that. We didn't have the same salesman. We had individual salesmen per company. And so there's pros and cons for all that, economies of scale, right? But there's also a lot of overlap if you don't have all your systems and processes in place. But I mean, by this time we figured out how to market things, how to sell things, how to create great leaders with systems and processes. And we had an amazing billing, like we figured out the billing side of things. And so like we're a pretty well-oiled machine. Where we kind of halted our momentum is when the investor pulled out and we didn't have enough money to keep funding. I, like in the pool company, I wish I would have went back and said, hey, we have 3,000 accounts. Our average customer is 150 or 100 and whatever, $10. Like, hey, we're raising our rates to $200. And if 2,000 people cancel, who cares? Like now I can make money on these 1,000 and I'll take care of them at a better rate. Right. Windshields was the same thing. Windshields was great. I started to just do RVs because we can dictate the prices of RVs. And then we would only, we got paid more on, at the time it was like a 2016 or newer vehicle. And so 2016 and under, we're not doing you anymore. It's not worth it. And so we got smart. But again, it was like, hey, I'm only making a couple $100,000 at this. It's not worth my time. It doesn't hit that threshold that I want. I have greater opportunities. And that's what entrepreneurs need to understand is like your time has, a money value associated to it. Where are you spending your time? Where's the best allocation of that time? And so as I sold agaves, we got rid of all these other companies. Like it wasn't just because we weren't making like crazy amounts of money. It's like what time, like if this is taking 10 hours out of my week, like I can go build a $100 million pest control company over here. Like, why am I not doing that? And that's where and that's why I say starting those companies was the worst decision ever, but it's the best because I learned so much. Yeah. And so now with what I'm growing, like it's positioned me to be able to mentor people in almost anything in home service and service-based companies that I wouldn't have got if I was just a pest control guy. Yeah. But because I'm very diversified in multiple home services, like I feel like I've seen almost everything.
Got it. So then how did you recuperate or recover after this guy pulled out? Like you sold some companies, but like, was that enough to fund everything else you had going on?
Yeah. So Green Mango was like a self-sufficient, great company. I was making over $1 million, or I was close at that. When I sold them, I was making over $1 million a year. When I started them, I was only making that 400 or whatever. And so like, luckily
what was the time frame? Cause it was 18 that you started the 5 companies. When did you decide?
2018. And then like, by the time I got rid of most, like by the time we fire sold them, like 2019, 2020.
So like a year or so, you already started selling them and you went from at that point, making 400 to almost $1 million at Green Mango.
Yeah.
So they were distracted on these
That
other
is
ventures.
crazy, man. I don't even know how yeah, like it's a testament to our systems and policies that we put into place, which is like what I teach now. Like if it's literally like the ultimate testimonial.
So then were you at any point, you know, you were saying you're kind of feeding everything up to Hive Farms, you get shared resources. Were there elements of like Green Mango was like kind of funding and carrying these other things?
Hey, my name is Brian. I'm a real estate investor. Ian's sales training has helped me buy more houses at a deeper discount. Most recently, Ian helped me reframe a question which resulted in me buying a house for less money than other offers the seller had on the table. If you're considering sales training, I don't think you can go wrong with Ian's.
If you like what you just heard and would like similar types of success, text CLOSE to 33777 and we'll see if you qualify to join objection-proof selling. We're taking good sales reps and we're making them objection-proof.
Our books were a nightmare, dude. It was it was like probably, again, like when I sold the company, I mean, clean books is one of the greatest things that you can do to get your highest valuation.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to extrapolate like all the nonsense of like Green Mango funded this, Green Mango funded that. Oh, they didn't have money. So like technically we did a split. So if we had an HR person, we'd say, hey, this company's this size, this company's that size, this company's that size, Green Mango's this size.
Mm-hmm.
Green Mango will pay 70% of her salary. The other 3 companies pay the other 30.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what happens when this company doesn't have money and this company doesn't have money? Big Daddy Green Mango would always front end. Then it'd be like a due payable account on the Green Mango books. And it just...
So I had, at one point, I had my brokerage, a title company. I had a joint venture and some mortgages. Was wholesaling.
Mm-hmm.
Still a realtor, right? And so, like the months where all 5 were profitable were like the best.
Yeah.
Right? When they're all going well, it's awesome. But what happened more than not was like, okay, like this company did really well. This company didn't so well.
Yeah.
We got a do-to from on this side.
Oh, yeah.
And then this company's doing well again, and this one's suffering a little bit, and we got do-to from. So you had a little bit of that.
Oh, we had a lot of that.
Yeah. Okay. So again, the investor forces the exit, but you're able to keep everything going. So it wasn't like a major setback in any way then.
It was because
Besides
it
the ego.
halted growth, and we were like, from that point, like we had to decide, like, but it was a good wake. Like it was the best thing. I thought it was the worst thing ever, but it was the best thing because I had to analyze. Okay, I'm not this superhero. Like I can't do everything. I have to niche down. Like what am I great at? Where's my best time allocation? And so that's why, it was like we narrowed down to Green Mango, coconut, and agave at the time. Like, okay, cool. And then a couple of years after that, it was like, oh, dude, like I need to get rid of, agave. And then it was like, okay, now I got Green Mango and coconut. And now I sold Green Mango, and now it's coconut. So, yeah.
Got it. So why? In selling the companies, how do you? We're talking about like all these companies combined, right? Clearing over $100 million, like 9 figures, right? What does that look like to get to a position where like someone's willing to look at this and say like, hey, that is a company I want to buy.
Yeah.
Like what are the things they're looking at to say like that is a company worth buying?
Yeah. So when we first started Green Mango, I didn't think I'd ever sell it. The beautiful thing about Green Mango is it has what we call residual income.
Yeah.
And as long as you're taking care of that customer, they'll stay a customer for life with you. When COVID happened, these multiples for service companies went from like, if you got like a 12 or 13 times EBITDA, it was like, dude, you got a really cool company. Like you got a high multiple.
Yeah. Come
COVID, you're hearing of 17 times plus on EBITDA. And that's when it was like, I think we'll sell like this. Hey, sorry, Banks, which is my little boy. Like, hey, sorry, buddy. Like, I'm not going to have a company for you anymore. Like daddy's selling, And so what was cool is we went to market and we didn't get the offers that we wanted originally, but we got their playbook. And what their playbook was exactly what you're talking about. What are they looking for in these companies? They're looking for companies that don't have key man risk. If we buy the owner, are they going to crumble? Are these companies running on themselves? Do they have the leadership place in do they have the leadership team in place to sustain, what they're trying to do? No one likes to buy a sinking ship. Are they growing? And growing, and this is crazy, like growing is 10 to 15% growth each year. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Those are some of the few things. Books are important. Audited financials are extremely important for when you go to sell to get your highest multiple. I started to learn because we get offers for like 60 million, 65, 70. And it's like, cool. Like what, like, and this is when I had to analyze myself. Like if you would have told me when I started Green Mango in 2010 that I could have sold my company for $60 million, I would have been like, you're crazy. I'm taking that all day long. When it happens and you turn it down like that, you're like, you need to assess where you're at in life. You're like, what's my priority here? What am I doing? Like 60 million bucks, that's a lot of money. So it was a cool time in my life. And this was going on between like 2020, 2022. And I was like, I learned their playbook and I wanted more than that 60 million. And so that's why we kept saying no, but I interviewed multiple private equity firms.
So you're saying like you had to look inside you, say why you're saying no.
Yeah.
What did you come up with? By the way, this was a homework assignment that was given to me.
Yeah.
Someone's like, my accountability partner asked me this question. It's like, hey, if someone offered you for 20 million, would you take it? I said, no. It's like, why not? I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what did you come up with? This will help me with my homework.
So a cool assignment on that is if you take a sheet of paper and you write down, if I said, hey, here's a blank check, okay, whatever you want to buy, it's on me. Go write down everything that you want. You want you want a house in California, you want a house in Montana, you want 3 Rolls Royces, you want a couple sand cars, you want a helicopter, you want a plane, you want, one of my things was like, I want $40 million in the bank account because if I can make 10% on 10% is like a good return, but also a very safe return.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, hey, I want 40 million in this bucket because 40 million means $4 million per year in order to make, to live off of life and do like at your most extreme rate, like you can live off of $4 million a year.
Yeah.
Like that was one of my buckets. So like I did this exercise where I wrote down, hey, all these things, okay, cost this much money. Right. And then the second exercise is go write down how much each of those things cost you per year. So yeah, you want a jet? Well, guess what? That jet, it's going to cost you, $400,000 a year, $1 million a year, depending on which jet you get. You want the sand cars? You want the Rolls Royces? Go look up how much the insurance is. So I made this list. My list came out to $96 million.
I've never thought about how much it's going to cost to maintain.
Yeah. So my list came out to 96 million. My second list was, I think it was $2.7 million a year to like maintain everything. And granted, like this is stupid. I would never go do all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then now is like my North Star is like, okay, that's got to be enough. The 96 has to be enough. If I get to, 96 and I say no, like I got some problems. Right.
Right.
So I did that exercise probably in 2021, 2022. That's how so 60 million sounded great, but I'm like, dude, at the time, what was that? What year are we in? 2025. So 5 years ago, I'm like 32 years old. I'm like, dude, I got a lot more in the tank. If you're telling me this thing's worth 60 million right now, like I get this thing to, 100, 200, no problem,
All this while, you still have a partner.
Yeah. So I still have a partner.
Okay.
So 2023 happens. My business partner, he's like the ultimate entrepreneur. He's the branding guy. And he has the ultimate like shiny object syndrome. Like at this time, we're 11 years in, 12 years into 13 years into the company. And he's just not coming in that much. And it's not like I'm working crazy hard either, but like he wants to go start all these other companies again. And I'm like, dude, I'm good. Hey, if I can present you with a number to buy you out with that makes sense for you, like, are you cool? Like I got 5 more years in the tank. Will you take it? He's like, yeah, like I'll take it. And so we come up with this number and I buy him out for that number.
Okay.
My plan is to run Green Mango for 5 more years. Because I'm like, hey, we're at the time, I don't know the exact, when we sold, we were doing 29 million. We were like 22% EBITDA margins. I think we were doing like 24 million when I bought him out and we were at 22%. And this is a cool story about Tommy. How well do you know Tommy? Do you know Tommy very well? Tommy Mello?
I've known him since like 2019.
Cool.
But like Tommy here that I saw on stage. It's not the Tommy I knew
Oh, really?
in 2019.
Oh,
He
yeah.
did
You're
not-
saying he's changed so much.
He did
Yeah,
not have his stuff together like he does now.
that's cool. So, are we going down the direction that you want to go? Is this where
Yeah.
you want to go?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
You said you wanted to go deep, man. I'm
Yeah,
going deep.
let's go.
Okay. So I buy my business partner out and I'm like, dude, if I want to turn this thing into, the goal is 50 million in revenue.
Mhm.
We were doing 20, 25, whatever, 24, 25. I'm like, if I want to turn this into 50 million, like I need that like next little shot in the arm. And to me, I was hanging out with Tommy and he was like, dude, let's partner. Like I can help you pull this up. I just had my exit with my company. I know what to do. Like I'll teach you all the things, right?
Oh, he had his exit already.
He had it.
Okay.
I'm like, dude, this is kind of a dream come true. Like Tommy's been a
Before we do
mentor of
that,
mine.
People probably should know what the reference is because not everyone knows who Tommy is.
So Tommy Mello owns A1 Garage Doors. I think I can talk about his does he talk about his multiple?
I just know 250 for 40%. That's all I know.
Okay, you said it, I didn't. He made a lot of money. Okay, but he stayed in the business and he's doubling down and he understands marketing and systems and processes and how to grow and M&A. That for me, I feel like we hit market cap in Arizona. I needed to learn M&A. Tommy knew M&A, mergers and acquisitions.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, a big part to get to 50 million is going to be mergers and acquisitions. I need to understand this. Like, will you buy into Green Mango and become my partner and take this ride with me for the next 5 years?
Yeah.
We long story short, yes, we're 50,000, I think the quality of earnings was like 50 to 80 grand, which quality of earnings is when a third party company comes in, audits all the numbers that you're saying are true, right? And then they come up with this valuation. So we were done with it, right? Tommy paid the 50, 80 grand, whatever it was for the quality of earnings. I get this knock on the door. Okay, this is January of 2024. My buddy calls me and he's like, hey, I want to buy your company. And I was like, it's not for sale. And by the way, no offense. Like, I don't know if you think Green Mango's worth like 10 million bucks or 100 million, but like, I don't think you got the money for it. He's like, no, dude, like I got this guy who wants to buy it and he's got some money. And I was like, at this time, I'll always like, one of the great things for whatever reason, like I try and hear everyone out. I want to meet everybody. That's how I got to be where I was at this point in life is like, I want to meet everyone and I'll hear them out. So I'm like, all right, let's see what you got, you know? It ended up being a broker, right? He two-timed me. He gets on the phone. He said, I will get you the number that you want. Cause I told him, I said, I want this multiple. I can't say it, but it's like, it equaled, like if you're watching, like you can do all the math on everything, you know, it's like, if you can give me this multiple, bro, like I'll sell, you know? And he's like, all right. And I have these calls every single week with brokers pretty much.
Got it.
He called me a week later and he said, I got your multiple. And I said, well, hold on. I don't want to be involved. Like meaning like when you sell your company, most people have to stay on for 2 or 3 years.
For earn out. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to roll anything. Right. Like they say whatever money you roll, you're just going to like lose, like kiss that money goodbye.
Yeah.
And so I heard all these horror stories. I'm like, I don't want to roll anything. The only thing he came back with, he's like, you have to roll, I think it was 12%. You got to roll 12%. Everything else you can walk. They'll pay you a salary for a year to be you're like, you know, I don't know the right word, not mentor, but like consultant, that's the word. And like, we can close quick. I went to Tom. I was scared, bro. I went to Tommy. And I'll never forget. I was just telling this story the other day. I called Tommy. I'm like, Tommy, man, you know I love you. I look up to you a lot. Like the fact that you even wanted to partner with me means the world to me. I just got an offer that will change my life. And by the way, like kind of rewind a little bit. I knew the sacrifice that it was going to take this ride with Tommy. Go from 25 million to 50 million is a different commitment than 0 to 10.
Yeah.
Right. And I knew that. And my kids are 11 and 8 now. And I didn't want to take, like, that's when I looked at my number and that's what goes back to 96 million. I was like, dude, I'm there. I got to take this right now. And I told Tommy, I said, bro, I'm sorry. Like, I'll pay you back for the quality of earnings. And and this is why I love Tommy, because I've had this conversation with a couple other investors where it's like, they hang up the phone on me, like pretty much screw you. Tommy says, Cameron, I'm so excited for you, man. Like, in fact, if they try and screw you, if they try and negotiate with you, use me as leverage. Tell them that you have a buyer right now and I will buy it, and like go with that to the table. And dude, like I always get chills telling that story because like that's the type of people that you want to hang around that are happy for you, but have your back. And the greatest thing that you can do when you're going through an acquisition is one, like not be attached to the outcome. And what I mean by that is like be okay with knowing that everything works out. I had this benefit of knowing that the biggest deal in my life was going to be okay because I still had a great backup plan.
Yeah.
And when you have that, like it was just something special. And Tommy gave me that. And that gave me so much peace of mind because the sales process of a business is something that you can't explain to people. Like I don't even know how to put it into words. It's getting dragged through the mud 100 times over backwards. But when you have a backup plan, and you're not attached, like it just makes it that much better and that much easier.
You're talking about because of the auditing, the
auditing, like nothing's for sure until the money hits the account, and then it's like, what employees am I telling? You know, like who do I help? The quality of earnings, the reports that these guys ask for, it's crazy, dude.
Well, the fact you said it was 50 to 80K.
That was for Tommy's.
Oh.
The company that acquired us spent over $500,000 on their quality of earnings.
Really?
It's a crazy.
So maybe elaborate what quality of earnings means.
Quality of earnings is, hey, you bought that mic stand. What did you buy it for? And why did you code it this way? Mm-hmm. Like they go through everything of your business. Mm-hmm. You guys bought this light 2 years ago. Like, how did you book it? Why? Well, you know, how much is it? Is it an asset? Is it, you know, like they want to know everything about your business.
So I have this problem. I imagine you might have this problem too. Having to justify my decisions is a massive struggle for me.
Yeah.
I do what I do because I wanted to do it that way. Do you have that problem too?
I'm sure I do. I mean, the most I get nailed down is like turning in my receipts. And that's when I sold. I was like, dude, this is getting crazy. I'm out. HR is like telling me that I got to hire so many this people and that people. And that, like, I'm done, man.
Yeah. So how long was that process?
So when they first said that they'll give me the multiples, actually on my anniversary on April 20th. And then we sold October. I got the money October 2nd.
So about 6 months. And you're saying it feels like getting dragged through the mud. So then besides the quality of earnings, what else was stressful, or was that it? I mean, that's like the amount of the quality of earnings and the reports that they send over of everything and wanting to know they're taking over your business. Like they need to know everything. And a lot of it's like creating that system for them and creating like the why and so it's stressful of, you know, like, hey, do I tell my top team? Do I tell my C-suite? Mm-hmm. Do I not? You know, so walk me through that.
Like people are, yeah. So like first of all, like you can't fill out all these reports alone. And so when you start sending over reports to your manager to fill out that aren't normal, like, you know, we're like this local pest control company and you get this like, you know, whatever like corporate company coming in like with their fancy sheets and papers asking you to fill things out. They know, they're like, what's this about, you know? And so then you bring it in, you're like, hey, look, like everything's going to be okay, but I'm going to sell and I need you to stay on and I can't have you tell anyone and I'm going to take care of you, but like I need you to like maintain. And it's like we got to make sure we keep growing over the next couple of months, so there's that pressure, you know. And so there's just a lot. And then you're just hoping that like nothing comes out because pest control in all industries are like that. Like they'll use, as soon as Green Mango sold, it was like blood in the water. Like, oh, let's go after their customer, you know? And so you just didn't want that getting out if you're not selling.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just like, there's just a lot of like the emotional roller coaster that you go through of like, dude, I could be worth X amount of money in the next month, 2 weeks, 3 months. Like, or not. And like, so it's just crazy, man.
Yeah. What was like the worst? Like when you're going through this, like what was like the bottom? Like because you're going on this ride, which is like looking really good, but like what was like? Was there a moment you're like, God, what am I doing?
I think the only moment like that is calling Tommy. Like I was so scared to call Tommy because like the backlash that I've had with previous people like him in that position where I was raising money or like deciding to be their partner and turn them down and how they reacted. And so like put yourself in my shoes. So I just took on this huge debt to buy my business partner out. I have this light, this beacon of hope to get to $50 million, which would have validated me buying out my partner. If I just maintained for 5 years, my business partners are going to laugh at me because it's like, dude, you just wasted another 5 years in this pest control company for the same amount of money. Like I had to grow to make it worth my time. Right. So here Tommy is this beacon of hope to get to 50 million because I knew I could get there, but like I was going to learn all the lessons, which is why mentorship's so powerful to me and why I'll spend any amount of money to be in the right rooms with the people that have walked the path that I'm wanting to walk.
Yeah.
And so Tommy was that guy that walked the path that I was wanting to walk, right? I can get to 50 million in the next couple of years through mergers and acquisitions. I don't want to learn all the lessons that it takes to learn how to do mergers and acquisitions. Tommy's my guy.
To be clear on mergers and acquisitions, you're talking about like starting to acquire.
Yes. Hey, this company has 5,000 accounts. Go acquire them, roll them up under Green Mango.
Right. So it wasn't like I need to get from 29 to 50 through growth.
I mean, we'll continue to have our 10, 15, 20% growth, but that's not going to get me to where I want to be within the next couple of years.
You need to
I need to go buy 5,000, 10,000 accounts at a time quick.
Yeah.
And so Tommy's kind of like that guy. He's in, we're down the road, right? And then this other sell comes in that's not certain. Hey, if you're saying that you really do have 29% EBITDA margins now and you really are doing this and doing that, then we'll pay you the multiple that we said, but nothing's guaranteed. So I'm going to go cut bait on this fish that's already on the hook, Tommy Mello, for something that might happen 6 months down the road. Like that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
And knowing that and so that's why I say that when Tommy said, I'm your guy, even if they screw you or because at the end, private equity tries to negotiate their terms because they know that you're $400,000 deep in a lawyer. They know that you've got excited about selling, that you've maybe already purchased the second house, the third house, whatever. And they play those games with you. Luckily, Pestco didn't, which is why I love them. But it's like, so that call, once Tommy said, hey, I'm your guy still, it's like, oh, thank you, man. If this fails, I still got Tommy. That helped out a lot.
And so then the hope then was before this company came along was you were working with Tommy to start acquiring.
Yeah, that was the main thing that I needed to learn from Tommy is M&A.
Got it. Okay. I was unclear on that.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. And then, so you're saying you're buying our partner, it'd be he would say you waste your life. So basically you're saying you bought him out for market value.
Well, I'm just saying if I let's just use fictitious numbers here. It's if I bought my partner out for 50 million, and I only sold for 50 million 5 years later, I just wasted 5 years.
Right.
I wanted to grow so that I could sell it for 100 and be like, yeah, that 5 years was worth another 50 million. Maybe you wouldn't, Dusty, maybe you would have made another 100, but at least I made 50.
Yeah. But you also heard you say you took on some debt to make that happen.
Yeah, so I had to raise money in order to pay out my business. I didn't have the money to pay out my business partner.
Who do you go for something like that?
So my buddy James has a private equity fund, and I went to a couple other people, but ultimately it came back to James, and he took on 10% of the business, and we came up with 14% interest on the money. So I got really creative, and this is part of entrepreneurs is one of my biggest things is there's no such thing as roadblocks for me. They're just detours. And so without saying exact numbers of how much I bought my business partner, I was I needed to come up with a large amount of money. What I figured out is hey, if I pay you a quarter of this end payout with a 10-year balloon, so let's just say $10 million. It's hey, I'll pay you 2.5 up front. The other 7.5 million I'll pay in 10 years from now in a balloon payment, but I'll pay you 14% interest on that money from now until 10 years. That's a good return. 14% is a great return. That's in a safe investment, and he's getting money up front. That's the deal that I worked out.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to raise the full 10, which that is not the number, but I didn't have to raise the full 10. I only had to raise a couple, but I gave up equity in the company and then 14%. And so I had all this pressure to grow to offset the 10% that I just, gave back to this guy and 14% interest on this money.
A lot of stress.
Bro, it was the worst year. Honestly, it was the worst. Not, I say that's kind of dramatic, but like it felt like year one.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
How were things like, and this might be awfully personal, but like, how's your wife dealing with all this?
Dude, my wife's a saint. She's the best. I had 5 different business partners and 4 of them got divorces through all this. Like that's how stressful it is. I'm not saying, oh, they got divorced because of work, but it's like that certainly doesn't help.
No.
And so my wife was always there. She was always supportive. It's like I always tell her, I'm like, dude, you need to like, I don't know if course is the right word, but it's like you need to like share your story of like how you were so great during this whole process and how you were supported. Because there's so many entrepreneurs out there that don't have a supportive spouse, which if you do not have a supportive spouse, you will not be able to accomplish great things, period.
Well, one of the things I've said before, and I love your quote about like, just obstacles, just detours. The things I've said before is like, everyone says how hard it is to be an entrepreneur. And I say it's even harder to be married to one.
That's probably true.
Like the stuff that we do to our spouses.
Yeah.
It's nuts. I was gone, right? I was gone for 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I came back for 2 days and then went to Dallas for another event.
Dang.
Left on Monday.
Oh, dang.
Came
Yeah.
back last night, right? So it's just.
You're like, hey, I'm going to be home late tonight.
And then we home late tonight. Yeah. So like there's all this stuff that we, unfortunately do to our wives or our spouses. So then I guess so obviously, Green Mango was the most attractive piece of all of this. You talk about it grew while you were distracted.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of bringing home 400, you bring home $1 million. You were saying, did you say it was leadership that you felt was the strong leadership in place that helped it grow while you were kind of like doing this other thing?
Yeah. And even when I look back, I laugh because it's like, it wasn't even that strong, but yeah, I mean, you give someone the title of branch manager, or office manager, or tech manager, and sales manager, and you give them, KPIs to hit with bonuses in place. Like it's crazy what people can do, and that's what we did because we had to do that because we didn't have a choice not to entitle people and give them that autonomy to go run and be the greatest that they could.
Yeah. Okay. So it was just clear expectations then.
Yep.
Was enough to get the people you had there to go hit the goals and give them the direction and clarity to go do what they need to do.
Yeah.
How available were you? Because I can only imagine, again, like with all the different businesses going on, how available were you still to like put out fires?
This is why, like, when people tell me like I can't get back to you because I'm too busy, I'm like, dude, you're a piece of crap.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the things that I pride myself on is a 0 inbox policy.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of the day, I will respond to everyone via text. I don't care much about email, but I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like email might be, maybe it's 2 days, but like text message, dude, or call, like I got you. I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
And so I responded to everyone, man. And like that comes to working till 11, 12 o'clock at night and waking up and getting right on your phone, which isn't healthy. Like I don't like promote that at all, but like that was the season that I was in.
Mm-hmm.
And not being present. And there's so many great lessons around that. And, I finally hired a life coach in 2018 that changed my life. And that was one of the biggest feedback. He came in and he interviewed a lot of people that I worked with.
Mm-hmm.
And, like one of the greatest takeaways that happened is like, hey, even when Cameron's present, like he's not present. Mm-hmm. Because I felt like I had to, I was responding to people. Like you'd be talking, I'd be like, yeah, man, and it's just like, and so I learned how to multitask. I learned how to, be intentional with people. When I'm here, like I'm here. Mm-hmm. And then when I'm gone and in the car or whatever, like that's when I'm getting back to people.
So you're talking about like a 0 inbox policy,
mm-hmm.
which is impressive. I want to say I live that way. I don't. I do have an assistant. It's like, here are the ones you need to respond to today. Okay.
Yeah.
And then she responds. I respond to them at night to her, and then she responds to them the next day. I don't have that policy. But I wanted to ask you this, because this is a struggle I think a lot of entrepreneurs deal with. How do you balance the 0 inbox policy with being present with your kids?
Yeah. Yeah. So I have and again, it's not like I'm perfect at this. Like even my wife reminds me sometimes, like even last month, she was like, hey, like your rule is phone down at 5 o'clock till 8 o'clock, and so like I set times, like I'm a time blocker. And so from 5 to 8, I got my phone down. I'm extremely intentional with my kids. From 8 to 8:30, I'm extremely intentional. You know, I do my sauna, my ice bath in the morning. I do like a journal session that I go through. But like before that, I tell my kids like, hey, I need to do my thing. But from 8 o'clock to 8:30, like I'm all yours. We play tag every single morning. We jump on the tramp. We go on bike rides. I don't have my phone on me, and I'm there. From 8:30 till 5 o'clock, like I'm working. I'm still going, and I'm doing my thing. And so during that time frame, I need to get done. I need to get back to people. And then I tell my wife, like, hey, I usually jump on between like 8 and 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I respond to everyone that's texted me that day. And so, you know, Cody, who's our videographer, has only been with us for a couple of months now, but he'll probably notice like there's a gap between 5 and 8 o'clock where I don't respond. And then it's like I respond to all the group messages that he's in and that he'll see between like 8 and 10 o'clock when I'm like getting back to people. And then like I spend my time with my wife. And then, you know, I tell my wife like, hey, weekends, I don't work on Saturdays anymore. And then obviously Sundays. And then it's pretty much like anytime my wife wants to go on a trip, like I'm always game. And again, it's cool because she understands like, hey, the first couple hours, even when we're on a trip, like Cameron needs to go like work out and he needs to go get a little work in, and he's just a happier, better person anyways when he does that. And so she allows me to do that. Whereas like, that's where I talked about a supportive spouse. A lot of spouses would get mad if they go take away 2-3 hours in the morning away from the family on vacation, where it's like, my wife knows that like, hey, he's going to like give him 2-3 hours in the morning. He's going to show up a better dad for the remainder of the day.
Yeah, I don't know if my family's happy about it, but that's definitely what happens.
Yeah.
Like, on vacations. Like I have to take care of these things in the morning. I can't just be relaxed the whole day.
Well, what's cool, you know, like people, you know, they misjudge the power of communication and like having just a simple conversation with your wife. And again, there's some crazy girls out there, crazy guys too, that like, it was easy for me and my spouse, and maybe it speaks a lot to her, but it's like, hey, like I need a couple hours in the morning. And then going to my kids and saying, because it was the hardest concept for them to understand. I was working like crazy, and I'd always tell them, and it, like, shame on me for this, but it's like, hey, as soon as I sell Green Mango, you can break my phone because I'm done. And like, that's how I had. And so like, as soon as I sold it, like, they're like, literally like, where's your phone? I'm going to break it. Like, I don't want to see you on your phone anymore. And then I had to explain to them like, hey, part of dad's happiness is staying fulfilled and busy. And so I'm going to continue to work, but now I don't want to work on Fridays, and we're going to have Saturdays and Sundays, and we're going to go on, you know, pretty much any trip that we want to go on. But like, I still need this throughout the week. Yeah. And so it's been cool to explain that to them. And I'm not saying they're like, yeah, cool. Like, yeah, no problem, Dad. Like, my little girl still comes into the sauna at 7:30, like, let's go play. It's like, hey, it's not 8 o'clock yet. Like, you know, and there's give and takes there. But setting those boundaries and setting those time allotments for you to get back to people and respond, I think is extremely powerful, because the image, the brand that I wanted to create in business was that, like, I want people to know that they can count on me, right? I didn't want an employee to ever come to me and be like, hey, I wasn't able to get this done because I reached out to you and I didn't hear back from you. Like, that would never happen with me. So when someone says, hey, I wasn't able to get this done because I didn't have this or that, it's like, all you had to do is call me, and you can never use the excuse that I didn't get back to you, because I always get back to you. Right. And that was powerful for me. Now it's not as, like, I still just out of natural habit, I get back to almost everyone. Like, I feel like I still adhere to that zero inbox policy, but it's not as important to me because it's like, there's no one really relying on me except for my 3 people directly underneath me on the Hype Farm team now. Yeah.
You're not a bottleneck for anyone anymore.
Yep.
There was something interesting you said back when we were in Vegas. You have these things that you put in each one of your companies to kind of create this moat that other companies try to replicate you, but they can't. Like, you trademarked terms.
Oh, I know you're talking about. Do you want me to go into it?
Yeah.
You're talking about like the tri-block technology and stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, branding in general is so important for you personally and for a business. But the way that you differentiate yourself is through, like, I hate when people talk about, you know, how they can't charge a premium amount. And it's like, it's because you're not a premium person. Like, you're not a premium person. You're not a premium company. What differentiates yourself? So I think what you're referring to is the fact that, like, we had this amazing service, but if we're truly honest, like, it's the same type of, like, we put down more product than anyone else and we spend more time there. But what we actually do at the home, like the way to service a house, like there's only so many ways to skin a cat. Like you do the foundation, you do the yard, you do the fence line, right? And so what we found is like, hey, we need to differentiate ourselves to everyone else out there.
Yeah.
How do we do that? We're going to give our brand, our service a brand. We're going to give our service a brand. So we called it Tri-Block Technology. And so what it is, bro, it's 3 massive barriers of protection. It's the fence line, it's the yard, it's the perimeter of the house.
Yeah.
And it's different than anyone else is doing. We actually go 3 feet up the wall, 3 feet, you know, whereas another pest control company would come out and be like, hey, man, we go 3 feet up, we go 3 feet out, we service the yard, we service the fence line. They'd be like, we're with Green Mango. They have Tri-Block Technology. You know, and so it's like, it's the same thing. And that's what's fun. Like people would always, and this is why I tell people, like, who cares what other people in your industry are saying? They're just jealous.
Right.
It's what the consumer sees. And it's not a lie. It's just like, hey, this is who we are. It is a trademarked, patented technology that's proprietary to us. Not saying like, you know, it's us, it's Tri-Block Technology. It's what we do. And so like, that's powerful when you're trying to differentiate yourself in a, you know, saturated industry of pest control or alarms or solar, HVAC, or, you know, whatever it might be. Like, hey, here's our formula for success. This is what we do.
You ever hear about how Schlitz beer became big? So the way they started, or the way they blew up, was everyone makes beer the same exact way. You make beer, right? And I don't know how to make beer, but like everyone does it the same way, right?
Okay.
And what they did was they took their process and they made a whole story about it.
Love it.
Here's what makes Schlitz beer special, right? And they like, we take care of our hops. Is this way we do it? Like, you know, and they just went through this whole thing. And if you make beer, they're like, that's how beer is made.
Yeah.
What's so special about
But
it?
no one knows that if you're
No one
not
knows that.
a beer maker.
So they're like, oh my God, this is how they make their beer. This is what I want. And so they became the standard.
Yep.
So they're famous for 2 different marketing things, right? One, to blow up their brand in a positive way, and then one to blow up their brand in a negative way, which when they went with like, you know,
Right.
like we're the man's beer, and like women are the ones that buy the beer at the grocery store.
Brutal.
So they destroyed their brand with that. So then you've sold most of your companies, but you're still holding on to one.
Yep.
Why?
Because it's not like, I mean, you're like asking, I'm like, I don't know. No, it's, so in each business that we started, we found a managing partner that was an expert in that industry.
Yeah.
So we brought the systems, the processes, the marketing, and the finance to the table. We didn't want to be jack of all trades, master of none, right? And because that's what it looked like too. Like we're starting all these companies, like what the heck? Well, we partnered and gave that person equity of the business, and we gave them like the day-to-day responsibilities of like dealing with all the stress that comes. Hey, here's the 5 things that we're bringing to the table. You bring your expertise. So the partner that we had worked for Zero Res, which is, you know, one of the biggest competitors in Arizona. We said, hey, come over to us. Here's some equity. We're going to go build a carpet cleaning empire. Why do I still have it? Because it's still growing and it has so much potential to be huge. Like we will turn the coconut into a $250 million company through the franchising model. And so we're 8 years in. Arizona is one of the largest, or coconut's one of the largest carpet cleaning companies in Arizona. But we started franchising it 4 years ago. We had 4 salesmen come to us and say, hey, we're either going to be your competitors or we love the brand so much we want you to partner with us. At this time, I was so sick of starting all these companies, funding them, and like being financially responsible that I was like, I'm not doing that. The only way is franchising, which like allows us to give you the basically partner without being financially responsible, right? And so all the people that got investors, and we shouldn't have sold it to one guy because his investor backed out. He's the only one that didn't hit over $1 million in the first 2 years, which is unbelievable in the service industry.
I say $1 million.
$1 million in revenue within the first 2 years.
Okay.
The other 3, boom, killed it. And so one of the biggest challenges about franchising is the same thing that I was talking about with M&A, like what you don't know, you don't know. And so there's horror stories of people getting sued and all this stuff of franchises. And so I'm like, Evan, which is my business partner at Coke, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to go down this path, but we don't want to lose these 4 guys. So we kind of we got dumbed into doing franchising, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, sell these 4 to these top guys. It was $100,000 to do the FTD, which outlines everything, right, to franchise. Lots of legal stuff around franchising.
Franchise disclosure, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, hey, we're going to, but pause hold the break, like sell these 4, stop. Let's see what we learn from this. And if it's viable, like we'll keep selling. So within the past year, we're ready to go again. Like we certainly don't know everything from like what to look at, the landmines of franchising, but we've learned a lot.
Right.
And we've sold another 3, and we'll sell 80 franchises over the next 5 years. Like I'm really confident in that. And we'll get the goal is to get each franchise up to a couple million, but I don't know if I can say that. There's certain all these legal things, but it's like the goal is, I think I can say that. It's like the goal is to get everyone up to $3 million in revenue and like have 80 locations doing that 250 million.
Yeah. Wow.
That'll be sick.
And then Hype Farm. That's an interesting name. You like your names. Is there a meaning behind Hype Farm?
I mean, besides like we want to bring hype into the industry and bring excitement, and then like we spelled farm PHARM because like not like we're not trying to like grow crops, but like we're trying to create like a farm. Like that's what we do is we help companies grow.
Yeah.
We bring in the sizzle, we bring in the sauce, and then we grow them.
And then one of the things that Jeff was super excited about was the 1% Club.
Yeah.
What's the 1% Club?
So the 1% Club is cool, man. I've gotten really passionate about it just in the past month. I'm the type of guy that it's like, hey, there's a lot of people that helped me that answered my questions. And so like, I want to be that for people now. A couple of years ago, advice that Tommy gave was like, hey, you need to start a podcast and you need to start doubling down on your personal brand, because when you go to exit, if you are looked at as the king in the industry, 1, you'll get a higher multiple, and 2, like they just won't negotiate with you as much.
Yeah.
And like the other thing that comes with that is when you start talking about business and start building your personal brand, like people start to ask questions and they start to reach out, because there's a lot of people that don't have the mentors and help and all the things, right? Yeah. And so people naturally started reaching out, and I would take the phone calls. I'd be on the calls for 3-4 hours a day trying to help business owners. But what I found is there's a lot of guys that, 1, are wasting my time because I know they're not going to go take action. But 2, like it became really exciting because people would call me like a week later, like, dude, I implemented this one little thing and like it's literally transformed my business.
Yeah.
Like that, like what do you like? What else? Like what else could I want in life? Like money doesn't really matter anymore. Like I want to help people. I want to help them grow. And so when someone's like struggling and they call you and tell you that, it's like, wow, this is cool. But again, I wasn't wanting to be this mentor, this coach, this like, I just want to help people, but it's not scalable. Right. And so this is a couple months after I sold. I'm trying to figure out like because Coconut, Evan runs Coconut. I don't do much at Coconut. Like he's the guy and I just help support him. I'm a whiteboard for him. Right. Like, and so I'm trying to figure out, like, I know I need to stay busy because I understand like that's what makes me happy. Right. But I'm not trying to like get back into it. I'm just, and at the meantime, I'm taking all these phone calls and I'm like, just like, this isn't scalable. I gotta figure this out. But I want to keep helping people. And so I was like, I'm just going to do a monthly Zoom call and I'm going to answer people's questions. Anyone that reaches out throughout the week, I'm gonna be like, hey, so sorry, I'm busy right now. But at the end of the month, the last Wednesday, I do a monthly Zoom call, jump on. And then I was like, well, the people that waste my time, I don't want them on that call because they're just, we call them assholes, right? Like they just ask. I'm going to charge like $299 a month. I don't know where that number came from. Like it's just enough to where like it gets rid of those people that want to waste my time. And it's a no brainer for people that are actually serious because it's $300, bro. Like, come on, And so the first couple months, at first I was like, if I can get like 20 people on this call, like it's worth my time to jump on for an hour, right? No prep, no nothing. Well, like 3 months in, we got like 70 members, and I'm like, it's so much more. Like the hours flying by like this. I'm like, I'm going to start creating playbooks for them, like actual implementation playbooks that they can go implement in their business. And so at the same time, and this has all happened in the past 6 months, right? one of my buddies is coming to me. He's like, dude, there's money in rolling companies up. Like, let's go do these plumbing companies and roll them up and, integrate them and sell them off to private equity. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. Like, you integrate a couple companies, you can make another 100 million pretty easy doing, like, honestly, the path is pretty easy. And I start going down this path with him, and I'm like, he's having to call these companies and like pretty much sell himself of who he is. Like, hey, I'm this, I did that, I did this, which he's had a ton of success. And I'm just like, I don't want to do that, man. And so I told him, I said, and that's when it clicked. I'm like, I'm looking around. We have over 250 million in revenue in the 1% Club already. There's over 70 members. There's guys that are just a solid community of people. They're showing up. They're doing the things I'm telling them to do. I'm like, why don't I go grow this community to, a minimum of 1,000 members? And then when it's time, like, hey, who's ready to sell? Let me teach you how to sell, right? But in the meantime, I'm giving them my playbook of how to grow a business that's sexy enough to sell. And so like, I'm kind of doing it backwards. So the end goal is like, yeah, I think I can help integrate these companies and roll them up and sell them together if that's what they want. If not, they'll learn how to run a business that runs without them, that can get them the highest multiple, that can, increase their highest EBITDA margins in their business. And this is what's most important. Be around other people that are up to the same thing. Yeah. Like, that's what I want to build in the 1% Club. And so like, now I'm busier more now than ever, because like, I'm telling my team, like, hey, we're going to start running ads November 1st. The price is going to go up, because how can you say like this is a filet mignon when you're charging $299? Like, this course should be $10,000 a month, right? Like, really? And like places like, dude, what are you doing charging $299? I'm like, I just want people in the community, man. Like, I don't care about the money, but we're gonna charge $900 up front. It'll be a 6 to 8 week course, and then $299 a month. And it's a monthly Zoom call, and it's being part of a community. And we're gonna hold quarterly events where you can get together and be around other people that are just killing it in business. And so that's what the 1% Club is, man. I get fired up around it, because it's like I'm checking all my boxes. Like, I'm staying busy, I'm helping other business owners, and then the end game. And I'm not even attached to that. But if we go integrate and roll companies up in a year from now, like, not only am I winning, but the person that I wish someone would have came to me like I am to them right now and said, hey, roll Green Mango up into our portfolio, and you will be worth 2 times the amount of money. Yeah, that like. I would have done that. That's what I was doing with Tommy. It's like, hey, dude, come, let's go grab it. That's sorry, I like start geeking out about this, because like the M&A is so powerful, because a company that's worth, let's say, like 5 times EBITDA margin. So let's say they're worth $1 million. As soon as they integrate into a company like Tommy's, they now get the multiple of Tommy's, as long as it has the trailing 12 months of revenue. So as soon as they integrate to that company, for 12 months, they're that same company that was worth 5 times, if Tommy goes and gets a 20, they're now worth 20x, the same company, just because they changed their name. Like, that's when Tommy, I don't know if you heard him on stage, he's like, I feel like this is illegal. It seems illegal. And so when I go to a business owner a year from now and say, hey, you're worth 10 times, take that. Like, you earned that. I'm not trying to get in your pocket. Let's share in the revenue that I get as we combine together. It's going to be beautiful. And the cool thing is, like, they're already integrating themselves over the next year or 2 years, however long they're in the club.
Oh, I love this. I love what you're doing. If someone wanted to get involved in the 1% Club, how does that work?
Yeah, so it's hypefarm.com is the landing page, the website, or you can go to Bawden, which is my Instagram, and underneath the bio is right there a link to the 1% Club. It's super easy.
So Hype Farm with a PH.
Yeah, HYPEPHARM. Oh, /1. See, I don't even know. I don't even care. It's like, dude, if you want to join, great. If not, like, that, you're missing out. Well, so hypefarm.com /1. And then why do we do that? Why not just Hype Farm? Okay, let's go.
And what about franchising? Someone was interested in franchising.
So franchising, coconutcleaningcode.com, and there's a tab on there for inquiries. We're super selective on that, but if you're the type of person that you feel like you have a couple $100,000, you're an entrepreneur, you want to go, like, coconut cleaning is the way to go. Like, we could probably get 90 inquiries a month, and really? It's crazy. So we're super selective, but if you fit our criteria, like, we want you to be in it. It's the company's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And like I said, I suffered from massive shiny object syndrome, like hearing all the numbers. So like, there might be someone here that's listening, is like, you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe that just makes sense for me.
Yeah.
So now moving forward, you got a lot going on. You've accomplished a lot. What would you like to be remembered for?
A great question, man. Well, first and foremost, like I want to be someone like a man of God. I want to be a great husband and a great father. Like those are like the things. And then I want to be able to say like I helped a lot of I helped a lot of people achieve success.
Yeah.
And so success could be in money. Success could be in like being a great dad, a great father. And so that's the thing in the 1% Club. But we're not just talking about business. Like I talk a lot about living, a balanced life and what that looks like with friends and family and money and, kids and God and all that, all those certain things, because that's why a lot of people warned me when I sold. They're like, dude, you're going to be depressed. Like it just happens. And it might come, I don't know, I'm a year in, but it's like, I'm more on fire now than I've ever been because I understood myself. I understand balance. And so right now I have the perfect balance of what I'm talking about, like business, family, money, hobbies, all those certain things.
Right.
And it takes a long time to get there, but that's what I teach in the 1% Club.
Well, I think you saw a purpose.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably what happens. I don't know about these other companies, like entrepreneurs that exit, but like celebrities that, make a lot of money is because they got no purpose.
Right.
What is your biggest struggle today?
Man, my biggest struggle. Not being able to go fast enough. Like there's so many things I want to do and it's just like limited by people and time. But dude, I have the best life ever. I sometimes I pinch myself, when things are going so good, you're like, oh man, like God, don't hit me with something too hard here, like so. But when I write in my journal in the morning of things I'm grateful for, like some of the things that I'm most grateful for is all the trials that I suffered over the past 14 years.
What would you do if you were going faster?
What would I do?
Well,
like November 1st is our launch date for ads. Like I would have launched those yesterday if we had all of our courses and everything in place.
Got it.
Like I want to get this to 1,000 members like that. And then it'll be 2 and 3 and 4. And it's like, we're going to create a community that's powerful. And we're actually teaching things that there's a lot of coaches out there. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to get into it is like, there's a lot of coaches out there that are giving people advice that haven't really done it. Like haven't done the thing. And they just see like, oh, I can make a lot of money off of these people. And I just think that's messed up. There's a lot of bad information out there.
So it's funny because I heard you say that before.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's true in the real estate space. Just figured that wouldn't be true in home services because that's more blue collar.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can see what they're doing. Right? Like in real estate, like you can see the cashier's check or on Instagram, right? I'm in front of a Lamborghini, I got gold chains, whatever it is. I'm not proving that I've done anything. They're just props on Instagram.
Yeah.
But like for me, like blue collars, like, hey, like that guy doesn't have that many trucks in that city. Like,
yeah.
Isn't it harder to like lie?
I don't know, man. I mean, you know the big names in this space with business.
I don't know the big names. I only know.
And I'm not ragging on any. Like I see it. It's like
but I really don't. Like I only know Tommy, and then I recently met you. Like those are the only 2 people I know in this space.
You met the real ones, man. I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not here to like trash you. I'm just saying like.
I'm not trying to trash anybody. I'm just saying like, it's hard for me to understand because I'm not in your world. Like,
yeah.
You can visually see if someone's real or not.
Yeah.
In your space.
Well, it's easy to fake it, man. I mean, you know that more than anyone. Like, yeah, it's like if you run an engaging ad, right, with the private jet in the background or the helicopter, like unless you go do your due diligence and you just buy that course like that, like you just made that $5,000 off that person like that. Gotcha. And unless you go and like truly research, which you know how like most people aren't intentional that way. They're not going to go do the research to see if you actually did it.
Yeah.
Like they're just going to see the jet and the helicopter or whatever. Like they're doing as their thumbnail and buy that course for $5,000. They're going to,
Yeah, maybe I'm just still overly skeptical. I don't know. I have made the joke every once in a while. I was like, if I sound jaded and broken, it's because I am.
Because I like that.
Like I've seen too much.
Yeah.
What would you say is your superpower?
I think that always changes, but right now it's become more clear. Like my superpower is staying consistent.
Yeah. Just showing up every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it before? You were saying it kind of changes.
I used to think my superpower was like, and it still kind of is, but like just being like, hard worker and consistent's kind of the same, but I classified myself for a long time, and I think you can hear that in this podcast a lot, like as a systems and process guy.
Mm.
Not like really, I see the vision of why that's necessary, but like I'm the worst guy to go write an SOP.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like when I look at my success and when I look at other people with their failures, I think that it's because like they just don't say, like my 3 things on this wristband are like intentional, discipline, and consistency.
Yeah.
Like you have to have those 3 things. So like right now, like these are my superpowers, being intentional. I know exactly where I want to go with the 1% club, with my family, with my finances. I'm intentional. The people I hang out with, like there's a time where I went on a ton of different podcasts, no matter who they were. Like I'm very intentional with the podcast. That's how we got here. And which is, I think, so cool. Like I knew that I wanted to be on Pace's podcast because of his following and the demographic of people that he has. It fits in line with where I'm wanting to take the 1% club.
Right.
When I met you, I didn't know who you were. He brought up 8 random dudes. I didn't know that you knew Pace.
Yeah.
But somehow through our conversation, I mentioned like, hey, one of the things I'm trying to do right now is get on Pace's podcast. You said, Pace is a really good buddy. Within 15 minutes, we were on a group message. Within 30 minutes, I was booked on Pace's show on Monday, which appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that doesn't come without being intentional, disciplined, and consistent.
Right.
And so consistent, like I could have got home from the Las Vegas event and be like, man, I don't need to work. I don't need to show up. Like you text me last night, like, hey, we had a canceling. I want to be on your podcast. Pace has talked so highly of your podcast. You have a huge following on your podcast that fits my demographic.
Right.
You were like, hey, can you be here tomorrow at 2:30? I was like, I told the other podcast I was on, I said, I need to cut this short. It took 45 minutes to drive here, and like we made it happen because like I'm consistent. I'm going to show up and I'm going to do the work that needs to happen, and I'm intentional.
No, that's a powerful testament, right?
Yeah.
And it shows up, right? Obviously, the results that you've gotten. Is there any particular lesson looking back, right? It's been this journey for 16, 17 years. Looking back, was there any one lesson? It's like, man, like that was the one I learned the biggest lesson from.
So when the investor pulled out, I didn't go too deep into that, but I literally thought my life was over. Like,
really?
Again, like high of highs to low of lows. He thinks I'm the king to like, now he just said, no, I don't want you, and I looked at him as like a huge figure of like validation. Cause I've always suffered from, like imposter syndrome, but also like just am I worthy? Like, am I enough? And so when he said like, I don't want to be your partner, it was like, dude, I'm back to zero, like I'm a piece of crap, And so, I called my coach at the time. Luckily I had him, and I'll never forget it. I called him and I was like, dude, my life, I was crying like a little kid, really? Man. I was going to say little girl, but girls are tougher than we are. Like I was crying like a little baby. And, I said, my life's over, man. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. And he said, Cameron, like I've been trying to teach you this principle for the past 6 months now, but now that it's actually happening in your life, you will see that everything always works out. And I was just like, screw you, man. Like, how can you say that right now? Like my life is over, dude. I'm taking on I went $4 million in debt pretty much that day. And I'm like, this guy doesn't want me. I'm going to have to shut down these 5 companies. Like, what's the world going to think of me? Like, I started all these companies. I shut them down, 4 million in debt. I don't know if I'm going to recover from this. Like everything always works out. Watch. And so like, that's the best lesson I ever learned is everything always works out. Might not always work out the way that you want in that time, but always looking back, bro, like everything always works out. And so when you have that saying in your head, whenever something bad happens, like, it's just kind of cool. And so like you have this journal. And so I have this journal that like everything always works out journal. Yeah. So when like the worst thing happens in your life, you go write it in that journal, come back a month later and you'll almost laugh at it. Like, I can't believe that. I thought that was a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, those adversity is what builds you. What they say, the invention is, necessity is the mother of invention, right? Like you had to find a way.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't be here if you didn't find that way.
Yeah.
So before I want to think about the last slide, I want to leave the listeners with. Guys, if you guys want to share what was your takeaway, comment below. Let us know what you took away from this. Like I said in the beginning of the show, like to have someone that's actually gone through the gauntlet and then able to successfully exit, I think is what's what I'm looking for. There are a lot of lessons there, right? Because we've talked about being in the journey, but to be able to close a chapter and then start or continue another story, I think is incredibly powerful. So again, comment here. Let us know what you're taking away from this, something that you want to actually go and implement in your business. What are some last thoughts you'd like to leave everybody with?
Bro, this is the longest podcast I've been on, man. I love it. I'm fried right now. I gave you everything I got, man. What are my last thoughts? One of the things I've learned about business is this, like, the money will come and go, which is so cliche to say, especially in a position that I'm in. Like, the relationships and the people that you surround yourself with while you're doing your business or your work or whatever, like, your personal brand is worth more than any amount of money. And so what is your personal brand? If you have an agreement that's 50-50, like, pay the commission, man. Like, don't fight with people. Like, take care of that person, because you never know what that person will do for you or mean to you or say to your kids or whatever it might be. And so that's the theory that I've always tried to live by, just take care of the employees. And it's been really cool to see. One of my biggest fears is standing up in front of 150 employees and telling them that I sold Green Mango, because I thought that they would feel like I was leaving them behind for dead. The amount of support and love that I got from everyone was like, it started to make me cry, because it was like, they were so happy for me. They're like, I can't believe you didn't sell out 5 years ago. Like, I can't believe you hung on this long. We're so excited for you. And that comes from like a really cool spot. Like, if I was a dick to them, like, they would be like they wouldn't have said anything. You know what I mean? Like, and like tonight I'm going out to dinner with an employee that worked for us for 8 years, and he just left Green Mango because it's just not the same anymore, and he has his reasons or whatever, but it's like, I want to take him out and I want to celebrate him for all the many, like, we're talking 8 years back. Like, he saw some things that, you say, oh, I met Tommy Mello in 2019. Like, he didn't have his things together. Like, he saw me when I didn't have my stuff together, but he stuck with me. And so it's like, I don't have to take him out to dinner. I don't have to do any of those things, but it's like, I love him, number one. But number two, like, I want to go buy him dinner one last time. Yeah. And I'm not because of any other reason besides, like, thank you. Yeah. And when you take care of people like that, maybe he's going to help develop a relationship or bring someone to the 1% club or whatever. Like, who knows? And it doesn't matter if he doesn't do anything. But, like, take care of people in business, man, period, no matter what.
Yeah. Great lesson. If someone wanted to connect with you, what would be the best way for them to do that?
Instagram is best. So C Bawden, the letter C, and then my last name, Boden, Bawden.
All right. Perfect. Thank you
so
much.
Thanks, bro.
Appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.
Shout out to Steve Train. Jump on the Steve Train. Disruptors.